woman, it's time to heal and feel, be real. You just gotta take your time, unwind and chill. Cause now it's time to love yourself. Build emotional and mental health. Cause black woman, it's time to heal and feel, be real.
Hey y'all, we're back with another episode of Black Women Healing Podcast. And today is just us, your co-host. I'm Donika.
Now Myra.
Yes, and so we haven't did a solo episode, especially on a video camera in a long time. It's been a long time, y'all. So I'm excited. And Myra, she usually leads these kind of solo episodes. So I'm excited to lead. It's still something she's already, she went to the thing. So it's not a complete surprise, but I'm going to lead it. So today, y'all, we're going to be talking about our Japan trip. This was a kid-friendly, family-friendly trip, and we all stayed together. It was myself, my friend Sandria, her 3 kids. The youngest, to put context, is 2. The oldest is 10. And then Myra, her child, Shyla, 3. And
She's just stretching, y'all.
She's stretching, if y'all hear. And then her 2 brothers,
Yes.
Who are both adults.
Yes.
All in a household together.
Yes.
So it was a very fruitful trip in so many different ways. But we're just going to break down our experiences a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and start with just the beginning of getting there. So the flight. For me, the flight got nonstop. It's not that bad, especially if you've traveled. I traveled to Ghana. And so that 11 hours compared to 18, 17, piece of cake overall. But Myra said something about her travel experience of, I have global entry, which is amazing to me because I just get to go through. It's not really effective when you're in different countries. It doesn't really mean anything. But once you are in the States, like when I come back, I walk straight through. I don't have to go through anything. I don't even have to pull out nothing. They just take a picture of my face. I walk through. When I go, I get to skip everything. It's beautiful. But Myra says she done found something. If you don't have global entry, something you can do.
It's something that I've been found because all of my friends are like, you travel more places than me. Why don't you have global entry? There's something called My Passport. So you'll notice when you're exiting out of LAX, there will be 3 lines. There will be the global entry one. There'll be this really short line that has no signs. That's where you're going to go because it's something you just download on your phone. So I thought that no longer existed because I haven't flown out of LAX in forever. And so everyone's getting this long line. I'm like, what is going on here? And I heard somebody whispering about the app. So of course I downloaded it real quick. I hopped out the line and everybody's like, where is she going? So then they started downloading it, right? It's so quick.
It's a whole nother line.
Yeah. You scan your QR code. They say, oh, this is Myra. Okay. And you walk through and you're done. So for the people that's like, oh, get global entry, please do your research. Also, I didn't realize when we flew into Japan, we flew into the wrong airport. I don't know why I didn't do my own research. My brother's airport was 10 minutes from us. Mm-hmm. Ours was an hour away. Mm-hmm. So my ride back is $150. Theirs was $15. So please also do your research.
Hold on.
What happened?
We knew this. It wasn't the fact. We knew that was closer. It still cost less because the flight was extremely less expensive. So that $150, you would have paid that. You would have actually paid you would have paid
I would have rather the airport.
You saying you want to be closer?
Forever. Yes.
It wasn't that bad. I don't know.
It was bad for me. And then people were telling me the wrong terminal to go to. So girl, I walked around that whole airport and then I realized they had a bus. So I was riding the bus around. It was just so chaotic.
What? You talking about on your way back?
Yes. I would rather do the 10 minutes away. And I would rather pay the extra money. I'm at an age of my life where I would pay for convenience.
I agree. But sometimes like when you have to, convenience looks different for different people, right?
Sure.
That was not our experience. We went straight through. We didn't have to get on no buses or nothing. We went in, went, and then every time we in there, like even getting there, we got through everything was just quick.
Did y'all ride back an hour to the airport?
Yeah, or maybe like 40 minutes. And it was the time of our flight. The time that we left, we live in LA. 40 minutes is nothing. I drove 40 minutes here.
I'll take the 10 minutes over the 40.
Fair enough.
As y'all may have seen on the last episode where I talked about I was sitting in the 30-minute traffic.
Literally, see, convenience looks different.
Yes. Especially in a foreign country, I'm like, where are we going? Where are we going? Then it turns into like you don't see anything, and I'm like, oh, I'm being kidnapped.
Yo, you had already did the drive with people. But fair enough. Japan, speaking of feeling like that, it was actually one of the safest places I've been in my life. Like the feeling that I felt, like
safest and cleanest.
Oh, it's so clean and quiet. Like the fact I'm telling you, the dogs didn't even bark. Did you notice that people be walking their dogs and you just like,
oh, our tone of voice right now is too loud for Japan.
No, for real. I'm uncomfortable. Like it was so interesting how safe you can feel in a foreign place that's not yours, that you don't know anything about, haven't been. I know you knew a little people there. I don't know anybody there.
And they jump to help you there too. That was like mind blowing to me, like how people are so like willing to help you. Mm-hmm. And something I have a friend that lives in Japan. Something she had pointed out was they really care for kids. Mm. And once I started paying attention, I was like, they do care for kids. Like there'd be little instances where people just come, because I rode the train a lot by myself. And so there'd just be little things where people just like help me and my child. And I'd be like, But then I'm like, oh, this is a cultural thing of they really care for the kids.
I did not get that experience. I knew we was about to have a completely.
See, I was in the streets, y'all. I was on the train where she was in a car a lot of the time.
You was with me. Did you see my friend's child, little Nerio, when he was running around? They was not caring about him.
No, I'm not talking about instances like that. They want kids to have fun. I think that he was having fun.
He was falling. They wasn't like you. If I'm thinking of like that, no, they wasn't.
I think they was walking. That instance, that's what they was probably
walking
thinking.
Right past that kid. Don't see no parents. They just, in my opinion, y'all, the mannerisms, they're a little different. They're a little off. They're actually not paying attention, in my opinion. And can't they're not. They're in their own world. They're minding their business. And
y'all, we had different experiences.
As I know, I see. They're minding their business. They walk very close to you. They'll walk right into your face and
look you dead in your eye and keep walking. Literally, they will look at you like, okay.
Yes, even if
we're doing this. I walked right into someone and they didn't even care, and I was just like, okay.
Yeah, they don't. Obviously, I don't say obviously. They don't use mannerisms like "excuse me," "pardon me," "sorry." Oh, here you go. They don't. Nope. They don't say anything. They just look at you until somebody move eventually.
But the thing that blows my mind is like there's no conflict, because in LA, if you do that, somebody's gonna beat your ass.
Well, I think it's because of the context behind it. Mm-hmm. I don't think they're not doing it out of being nasty. No, they're doing it because they're minding their business. They're just trying to get to their destination. Yeah. In a train station, they fast. Everybody, they got their little what's it called? Susa card? Suka. Everybody's just going. So out here, if somebody does that, and it's not to say that they're not minding their own business, but I think it's the context around like, nah, you trying to be nasty. For sure. You're trying to do something because you could say, excuse me. Yeah. But no, that I didn't see nobody helping with no kids, friend. So what did they do? How they help you?
So out there, what I think is cool, if you know me, I wear a carrier. I didn't realize a lot of people in Japan wear carriers for their kids too. And so like if it would be slipping off or something, they would fix it for me. At one point when I went to Disney Sea by myself, I looked lost. And people helped me out to make sure that I got to where I was going. And then I ended up helping people. And I was like, this is actually really cool how we do not speak the same language. And we are literally helping each other. Shiloh's shoe would fall off. Somebody would pick it back up and put it on. I was like, wait, what is going on? So yeah, I had a very different experience.
That's nice. Yeah. That's actually very sweet, you know.
You're like, I didn't see all that now.
Yeah, no, I didn't see it. But you were by yourself sometimes. And so maybe that was what it was. But speaking of Disney Sea, right? Y'all, Disney Sea is beautiful. If you get to go to Japan, you absolutely have to go. If choosing Disney Sea over, is it Disney? What's the other one?
I think it's like Disneyland.
Disneyland. I would say Disney Sea. It was so
everything's on water,
magical.
But y'all, so I had to leave Danica and Sandria because my daughter is Frozen obsessed. And I don't think they realize how this is going to play out. We don't play when it comes to Disneyland. And they was just like, oh, we're going to go, blah, blah, blah. If you're going to Disney Sea, Frozen is the most popular ride. You will either wait in the line for 2 hours or more if you don't get there in the morning, or you're not getting on the ride. And so I promised my daughter that we were going to go here and do this. So I left super early. I got in that line. I stood in there for 2 hours for the rain. Absolutely worth it. I would do it again. It was an 8-minute ride. Absolutely gorgeous. Everyone was waiting in it because it's like that's what you go there for. That and the Rapunzel ride.
They didn't have the
Yeah.
fast pass?
They had a fast pass, but it sold out like immediately as soon as the park opened. Like I looked and I thought about getting it and I was like, nah, because I was already in line. But it was well worth. I was sick the rest of the trip because of me standing in the rain doing that. But y'all, well worth it. I would do it again. The look on my daughter's face, like even the setup going into the ride was like magical. And like the look on her face is like, I'm such a good mom. Like that's literally how I felt. Like it was amazing.
It is.
Yes.
Like all of the different rides gave that feeling though of just like magical.
Well, that's Disneyland for you.
That's not been my experience either.
But you've only been to Disney World.
I've only been to Disney World.
You gotta go to Disneyland.
Okay, I'm gonna go to Disneyland and then we can talk about it again. But I don't think I'm gonna say Disney Sea was different because it was Disney Sea.
Yes.
But I'll go to Disneyland soon enough and we can talk about it.
Yes.
I would say if you are gonna go Disney Sea, small tip, if you are traveling with groups, get the app and then you can work together to come up with a plan. Because we did not get to ride that. But we did, we got there on time. We just had to stand in that long line. Like the line is, they don't play.
So at Disney Sea, it's like a whole thing. So you notice everyone is dressed in like pleated skirts and they're all like matching. It's like an affair. Like people have on suits and things like that. They get there like an hour before it opens, which I did too. I was in line with them and I was like, wait, I thought that I got there on time when it opened. I didn't realize I got there with the early people.
You got there with the early
because
people.
I got there at the time that Disneyland opens in California.
But it didn't open till like an hour later or something.
An hour later. But again, I'll do it again.
I was
well worth it. Because I ran straight to that ride and everybody was running with me. We were all literally like running and it was at the back of the park.
It was serious.
It was very serious, but I'm happy. We got on every single ride.
Yeah. I think because with the kids, some of the rides, like the little baby, he couldn't get on like some of the stuff. But we got fast pass for like everything at that point. Because I think
it's also important, like if you're a Disney person, which like, I don't know how I fell into this trap. I'm a Disney person. It's not like our Disneyland in California where you buy one fast pass and that works for every ride. Here, you're getting scammed because the ticket price is super cheap. Yes, you are. Because the ticket price is super cheap compared to Disneyland, so you think. But then you're buying all these fast passes, so you might as well pay the same price as you'd pay in California.
Yeah, but that's why it's not a scam. It's a scam if you're thinking of it like that, about like the currency. But if I'm in California and I'm going to pay, how much is the fast? It's probably like over $100.
No, the fast pass is $35 on top of your $100.
So
Disneyland usually goes between $100 and $120. So you pay the $30 for the fast pass.
The fast pass out here is only $30?
It's like $30, $35.
At Disney World, no. It's like $90.
I've never been to Disney World.
Are you sure Disneyland's only $35 for a fast pass for the whole day?
Solomon, let me know if I'm wrong.
That's shocking because LA.
I would say the max might be 60.
I
think you're wrong, but
it can't
I
be
don't know.
35. LA,
maybe I just be clicking, just buying it.
LA is wild, especially now. It's not, but I'm gonna say even if we say 60, the rides out there you probably was paying like $4 to $6, $7 for a fast pass. It's not that many rides that like it was a few.
That's how much it was. I thought it was more.
No, because the currency.
It was one of those things where I was just thirsty to go on the ride, so I just started clicking stuff. And I was like, let me just get it.
The point is, though, you did it. Like, even with the Frozen.
Frozen, I didn't
buy the fast pass. So it's like a mixture. It's like, especially as the time kept going on. But
when I go back next year, I'm going to get a fast pass for Frozen. I would much rather do that. Because nobody else did that. And I saw people just walking by.
Oh, my goodness.
Most of us were in that line. I think that it's very limited, though. Because when I went to go look, I got like desperate. They were gone.
Yep. And I agree with that.
And the Rapunzel one too. That one was gone after a certain time too.
Yeah, we didn't get to do the Frozen. We only got to do the Rapunzel because every time like they'll open like little pockets of it, and then you got to hurry up and get it, and then they'll close it.
Be happy you did Rapunzel though, because if you would have did Frozen first, you would have been like, "Ah, this is whack."
If I would have did Rapunzel afterwards,
yes.
But enough about Disney Sea. Okay. So, in thinking about some other things. And this is the Healing on the Daily piece. So we were at Park to look at the Japanese cherry blossoms. Yes. And Myra and I were sitting on like this curb and we seen this young girl just start crying and she ran on the side and kind of start hiding underneath like this trash bin that was kind of next to us. And me and Myra was looking like, what's going on? And I immediately was like, I think somebody passed away. I think somebody died.
Yeah.
And it's wild that my mind went there, but it did just because like the cultural context, I knew it wasn't something Like it had to be something like serious.
Yeah. It
because
wasn't like you got an F in your class. It was something, yeah.
it was something serious. And I think Myra and I, we just watched our interactions. Like, I say that in a sense of how we deal with emotions differently, geographically, how even tears, she's trying to hide her tears. Like they, typically are not crying.
Yeah.
When we think of Japanese folk, Asian folk of Asian descent, or even, to be honest, Black folks as well, and other races, other non-white races. Typically, you're not crying. Sorry, white tears just went in my head. Sorry.
You're not crying unless you
I'm
got
sorry.
white tears. It's a Black podcast, so.
I'm sorry, y'all, but it's just went in my head. I just seen white tears. But you typically don't get to see that. So the fact that she was hiding, she didn't want them to see her cry. And then they all kind of was coming around, but they didn't know how to comfort her. They were kind of just like standing
And at one
there.
point they started like patting her, but it was like this.
Yeah, it was like, and me and Myra was just looking like, kind of want to give her a hug a little bit. But also culturally, that's not how they deal with the feelings. Whether somebody, I don't know if somebody died or not, but something like serious happened to that little girl. And it made me think, though, like, is our way of healing the healthiest? Like, who says our way is the healthiest as well? Because in that moment, that little girl could have felt, like, completely supported, right?
Yeah.
But we're looking at it like, hug her.
It was very uncomfortable to watch, yeah.
It was. Yeah, but that's just something I wanted to share, just like of seeing that cultural difference, like, right in front of your face. And Myra and us just sitting there eating our food, dissecting what's going on.
I think the therapist brain, we're always dissecting it. But I'll also say I felt like going to UNO Park, I went a second time, and I had a very different experience in that it felt very, like, I don't want to use the word healing, but very peaceful in that, like, you're just existing under these cherry blossoms. So the part of the park we went to, we didn't really see the park. But as we kept walking, I went with my friend who lives in Japan. We found like this little like waterfall thing. And these random Japanese people put this bracelet on my arm and was like, this is for like good luck in your life. Like it was so peaceful just like walking and seeing the cherry blossom. So if y'all go during cherry blossom season or whenever, please go and visit. It was very peaceful.
Did y'all sit on the blue things?
What blue things?
You know how you could sit and do the picnic?
Oh, no, we didn't do that.
Okay. I want to do that.
We sat by like the little waterfall thing and it was super nice. I loved it. I love Japan. I feel like we were in the like tourist area.
Whereas with Stan?
Yes. Like when I went, there was like 2 of those trucks. There was not all those trucks. There was not a million
you're talking about
people
in
there.
UNO Park. Okay.
Yes. It was not a million people there. It was just nice to just like take it in and the air just felt so like fresh. I don't know what it was, but I was like, oh my gosh, I could move here. And I was like, wait, no, I'm not. But in that moment, it was just, have you ever had an experience with nature where you're like, I like it here? It was one of those.
I have.
Yeah.
I definitely
That's
have.
exactly what I felt.
Yeah. Yeah. Being out in nature, definitely you're going to do in Japan.
Yeah.
I put down here movement, exercise. You're going to move those legs.
Yeah. And on the train, y'all, like something that I love that me and my brothers did, if we were on the train and we saw something cool, we got off and did it. So like when we went, I call it Hello Kitty World. I don't know what it's called.
Y'all got off and did it.
So when we went to Hello Kitty World or whatever it's called, I kept telling them like, I see myself going on a cable car and seeing Japan.
Y'all seen outside on the train?
Yeah, you could see outside. You could see the wind outside the window.
On the way there, all the trains I got that we got on, it was
well on this train it's a gorgeous view. Highly recommend if you're gonna go to I think it's called San Real Pearl Land or something like that. I call it Hello Kitty World. But anyway, on the way back, as I kept saying that, so we're looking out the window, and I was like, "That's a cable car," and they were like, "Let's get off and get on it then." So we get off. We're like, "How much is this?" We didn't know where it was even going. We were like, "Just go." It was $1.50. So we were like, "Forget it. Like, let's just go get on it." Tell me why we ride this car. It's gorgeous. Like, you see everything. Why drop us off at an amusement park? We were like, wait, we were trying to go to an amusement park. And then our phones all died. So then this is really cool about Japan too. So like, they plug in their toilets because they have a sound system just in case like you need to fart or like poop so people can't hear you. They have the bidet going. Then they have miniature toilets for the kids, right? So we're all 4 of us are in the bathroom. Me, my 2 brothers, and my daughter charging all our devices, trying to figure out how we're going to get back. But it was just crazy. I was like, I really want to go on a cable car. Like, I feel like we should maybe try to go to Mount Fuji. And then they were like, that might be a lot. And then that happened. Stunning. amazing. So please just do stuff.
I love that part of how you travel. I do love, maybe not all the time, but going with the flow and just being able to move through and like, okay, this is how we're feeling. This is where it's taking us. I love that about you. Like, I really do. I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
Because then you end up doing things that were not on the itinerary or you didn't even know about, even researching. And
no idea.
I
was just like, so apparently afterward I researched it. It's like one of the most popular like amusement parks there because they have really fast and big rides.
what was it called? Because I think I
took a picture of it, but I never saw it online. So I was like, why doesn't it pop up online? I feel like a lot of people don't know about it.
It's like, you got to be the Japan.
Yeah, because it's kind of off in the cut. It's not really in Tokyo.
Well, it's not in Tokyo.
Oh, and y'all, let me tell you also, when you ride the train, again, please pay attention because as we were riding back, we saw this big old body of like beautiful water and people just like jogging around it. But we were like, where will we get off and walk over there? So we were like, when we come back, because we're going to go back next May.
Mm-hmm.
When we go back, we're going to try and find it so we can just go walk over there. Gorgeous. I feel like that was like the countryside.
I think so too.
Kitty,
yeah, that was like that was out.
Totally different. The people were different.
The vibe
too.
was different.
The train was different too. Those were bullet trains.
Okay, that's okay. I'm like,
so it skipped like 5 to 6 stops. Yeah,
it makes sense. Yeah, as you speak about just like the toilet, I forgot about that. That's a part of the cleanliness. The toilets, their bathrooms don't smell.
Oh my gosh. And then at UNO Park, they had 2 types of restrooms. They had porta potties and they had like built-in restrooms, but the porta potties were like fancy too. I was so confused. I'm like, this is a porta potty?
It's so wild. Like, I feel like I had never seen anybody throwing anything on the ground, but I also didn't see anybody picking, like, like people coming around cleaning. I didn't even see anybody doing that. Yeah.
There are TikToks that make fun of like how you hold onto your trash all day in Japan. I was like, that was me. I had so much trash in my pocket.
You did?
Yes. Because I'm like, where am I going to? I kept going to 7-Eleven. Where am I going to throw that stuff away?
I know. I don't know why I didn't end up like that, but that is true. That country is impressive. Yeah. It's very impressive.
It's a part of the mannerisms.
I guess so, right? Like, everybody just gets it.
Yeah.
Everybody just understands, which brings me to my last point about Black culture and how Black culture is everywhere. The Black influence is everywhere. So my friend and I, Sandria, we went out. We went to the club. And we went to the club. They was actually having a dance show. And it was a dance competition. And so as they dance, and even their style, and even some of their hairstyles, that's what it looked like.
Yes. We are the blueprint.
Very much, even in their music, and because it was a dance show, but some of them also were like rapping or singing, and it was these 3 guys. It was almost like they sound like the 3 amigos, but they was the 3. I don't know how to say it in Japanese. Yeah, they was the 3 Japanese men.
Yeah.
One of them had locks. Oh. One of them had locks. He dyed them. Like, it was just, they had obviously their fashion out there, we'll give it to them. And some of that.
They win with the fashion.
The fashion, fair enough. But even how they sounded, their dialect, it almost sounds Jamaican, which also goes into like the Black diaspora of like how we're everywhere. And I have heard Jamaican and Japan all kind of like, a lot of times their influence, like those folks from Japan and those folks matter of fact, do you remember her name was Lee at San Diego State? Mm-hmm. She was Japanese and Jamaican. Yes. And that was the first time I'd ever seen her.
She was actually on the podcast, if y'all listen to the first season.
She was. Okay.
Anna Lee Fang, right?
Anna Lee Fang, Jamaican, Japanese, Black woman.
Yes.
I had never heard of that, but that it made sense. I'm like, look at them, like.
And I also wonder, does like the military play an influence in it? Because I know so many people that have told me they've lived in Japan for X amount of time because of the military.
That's fair.
So I also wonder like what role has that like played in it? And like what have they learned from like these military folks? A lot of people in the military are Black.
True. But it's not a lot of Black people over there.
In Japan?
Yeah. We didn't go to the military technically side. But
I saw a bit of Black people. There were Black people near where we were staying at.
It was a few sprinkles of Black tourists, but I'm saying that because think about the people was really trying to take pictures of us, y'all. I'm not playing. People really was like fascinated to see Black people.
Yeah, I might see me in some
It's
random
some
website
random
going like this.
Yeah. This lady tried to take a picture and I was not going for it. Like she was like, come on, but Myra Sandria did. But I just wasn't
Of
feeling
course.
it. I don't know. I just don't take a
Yeah.
picture. But it was sometimes where I have a choice where I'm just me and Sandria did the Mario Karts. And at that point, they just stopped and taking pictures. What I'm gonna jump out and be like,
But
"Give
you
me
know
that."
what's funny? So like when I would go to, because I went to a lot of like, I don't want to say they're hole in the walls because that's not what it is. But the smaller restaurants, I would ask them, can I take a picture? And they no. And then there was a
So
lot
they
of
didn't want you to
places
take a picture in the place at all?
of them.
You were trying to take a picture with them?
Yeah, because, okay, this is why. Let me give a little bit of context. So if you go get ramen at like a smaller place, you see it's literally like hibachi, but like ramen. Like they're putting on a whole show. They don't talk or say anything, but they put on like a whole show for you. Like you see them make everything from scratch. So I'm like, I want to get a picture of this. I want to tell people to come here. No. And then I started to pay attention. I noticed a lot of places will have on the wall, take a picture of your food, not of me.
Period.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, but y'all want to take pictures of us, but we can't take pictures of y'all?
That is fair. Because look, it gotta be a trade-off.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I went to like a lot of little like small places. Like when I travel, one thing I really try to do is just like be immersed in like the people and the culture. And I'm really thankful for the place that we picked because it has some of the best food in the area. And the food was all like under like $5 everywhere I would go. And they just treated us so well to where my brothers were like, can we go back to the same place? And I'm like, no,
We need
there's
to
literally
try
like a
something
million restaurants to go
different.
to. Like, let's try something different.
Yeah.
And the people I would meet would be like regulars. Like, that's just like their spot that they go to.
Yes. Yeah. The area was like that. That was a like
So much
a
good
little town.
food.
Definitely.
Wait, but girl, also in our area. So I don't know if y'all have seen the show. I think it's called like Little People Big World or something on Netflix. And it follows like Japanese kids like navigating around Japan.
like
how they were,
little
like-
people?
Yeah, like little kids, like a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old.
Oh my bad. I thought you were talking about like
Okay. No.
Okay.
Like shy little people.
okay, got you.
Yes.
Okay.
And so I say that to say, I thought like I would never see nothing like that, but I was seeing kids going to the grocery store. I saw them just walking down the street talking. I'm like, you're like 4. Where are you going?
Mm-hmm.
But again, nobody is about to kidnap them. People are not worried about doing anything to them. And you just hear them giggling and laughing. And I love the sound of giggling kids. It just like tickles me. And so I feel like that was also like a really good, there were so many feel good moments about like being there that we just don't have here. And that's why I'm going back. Like I have to.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I would go back to Japan. I definitely would. Like it was really cool. Yeah. I would say if we're wrapping up, what would I say as far as like a synopsis of my time? Yeah, I think I made a post about it. I was just like, explore culture, like just dive in it. Like I feel like when you travel sometimes, well, all the time, you always learn more about yourself.
Oh yeah.
But this was one of those where I was just like it just made me feel like the world is so big.
So big, yeah.
Like to be in a country where the language was completely different, but yet I understood everything. And I've been in other countries where it's like, dang, I don't understand it as much.
Yes.
But for some reason, they're speaking Japanese, but I'm like, oh yeah, I know what they said. How do I know where you told me to go there? I don't even know how to say that, but it was like something about and I don't know if it was just because the country was ran so dang good, where I was just like, I know everything. Okay. They was talking in Disney's, oh yeah, go over here, do this.
Yeah.
I'm like, I was telling Sandra, I'm like, they said put your phones away. She like, how you know? I just knew, y'all. I just knew.
Yeah.
But it just like widened my view of like myself and my life and interpretation. And I loved it. And movement, like getting those steps.
I was
in.
doing 25,000 steps a day.
Since I've been back, I've been trying to use my walking pad more. Like we need to move more, y'all, out here. That's what they said. Like they out there moving.
No, for
Everybody's
real.
walking
Yes.
everywhere. Like it's
And they're Onitsuka Tigers. If y'all know what that is, Onitsuka Tigers are these shoes that are only sold in Japan. They're so cute.
oh, that's the name. I was just telling somebody the other day.
I got me some
about
blue
them.
metallic ones. Yep.
I tried to get the silver ones. They were sold out. But anyway, yeah, they are moving out there. Like they're moving their bodies and walking around, enjoying their the air and all that. And then the people with the kids, they ride bikes with their kids on the back. Like they out here, or like you just said,
They wear carriers like
and
me
they
too.
wear
Like, I didn't feel out of
carriers.
place. Like here, people be clapping for me and stuff, and I'm like, why are y'all clapping? But they wear their kids. I rarely saw strollers.
that's a tip. Do not bring a big stroller. Do not bring a stroller at all
Don't
if you
take a
can.
stroller.
Yeah, it's not a big thing because they're moving and grooving. Like everybody's just doing it. So we definitely can take a lot of tips out of their book, but that one for sure. What about you, friend?
I think it told me work harder, not smarter. Well, work smarter, not harder.
Okay.
That's so backwards. Because as I was thinking about it, I was like, what do I want to say? And I want to say that Japan taught me patience. But then when you think about actual representation of Japan, you see people running and moving fast. But I'm thinking about the part of how, like, when you go to a restaurant, you're not rushed out. Or like when you're trying to explain something to somebody because of the language barrier, they're going to take their time. Or like when you're even like walking into people, they don't really care. It's not that big of a deal. Patience was such a big thing there. And I say like work smarter, not harder. They're working hard to get home from work. Like once I realized that, and I was like, oh, they're running home. That's why they're running off the train like that. Or they're running to work. Like they're running to something that's of importance, right? But when it came to everything else, like the people were like so patient. Like, y'all, we got dropped off at the wrong spot for our Airbnb, walked in circles for forever. And this random man that I asked for directions, he took his sweet time with me to help me find our place. And it was like 11 o'clock at night. He did not have to do that. But I would say the patience was such a big thing there. And I think that like it just plays a big role in all of the culture overall. So that's my takeaway.
Yeah, I like that.
And visit Harajuku. Harajuku is absolutely amazing. It's a lot of African people there, which like threw me off.
It's a lot. We met a lot of African people there too.
Yeah.
Was it? I don't know, but in general.
Yeah, and Harajuku, the best shopping. Like a lot of vintage stuff. Stuff is really cool. The people are great. Yeah, visit Harajuku.
As far as patience, because you just made me think. We went to a 10-course dinner. I've never been to a 10-course dinner ever in my life. Patience, and that's what it just made me think of. They were moving. It felt like so slow, but they're taking their time.
And they're not gonna kick you out.
Oh my goodness, it was so long.
Yeah.
I'd do it again.
Yeah.
I'd do it again. Yeah, thank you all so much for listening to another episode of Black Women Healing Podcast. We'll be back with another episode next Monday.